A very good morning to all of you, and a good evening to John McDonald, our speaker for today. He's on the board of editors in life sciences, and our topic for today is why BELS, an overview of the benefits of certification and membership. And we are happy to have even our ICF member Yatin Joshi, who is like BELS second level member, one among the 30 such editors in the world and the only Indian. So over to you, John, for the session.
Ready to begin?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very excited to be here. If I slip and say tonight, I have to apologize. It's about 10 p.m. here in Calgary, so I'm happy to be with you. As I was commenting to Venkat and Vivek earlier, I know that India has supported BELS for quite some time, with many members of BELS being from India. And I would like to take this opportunity to provide a little bit of support from the BELS side and give an overview of why more people should join us. Is everybody ready to begin? Do I get a thumbs up? I see some faces. Okay. Just in terms of the way my presentation machine is set up right here, just to let you know, this way is my main presentation, and if you see me looking off, that doesn't mean I'm ditching you. I'm just looking at my second monitor so that I can see some of your lovely faces. Okay? All right. So, getting underway, because you are up and early on a Sunday morning, let's take a look at why people should join BELS. I like to start off these sessions by just talking in general why certification is beneficial for editors. What is the whole point of getting a credential such as BELS? Is it useful? Is it important? Do your organizations recognize it? For me, some of the key points include the fact that if you undertake an educational program, such as to attain a BELS certificate, the number one thing is that it helps you identify your strengths and helps to fill in gaps in your knowledge and skill sets. Every educational piece, if it doesn't do this, it's just a little checkbox that's you might put on a resume. But for me, my time is valuable. If I'm not improving myself, then it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to get underway in this. But more importantly, in terms of employment, it provides qualified manuscript editors in the life sciences a way to demonstrate their editorial proficiency. If you go to a potential employer and say, I can edit, they go, good for you. Prove it. And BELS is one certificate that you've passed, then okay, maybe you can. Maybe you can back up the fact that when you say, yes, I can edit, it's truly the case. And so for both employers and clients, it's a way to identify proficient editors. It provides professional recognition of your high level of knowledge. And also important is that by becoming certified, if more and more people become certified, then we're establishing a standard for proficiency in editing. And so if you are at this level and a new person comes in and they say, I can edit too, okay, get to this standard, and then all of us can grow. There's a standard in editing, because I know that if you've been in the field for any length of time, you have seen a paper that somebody has said that they've edited it, and you look at it and you go, really? This was edited? Maybe we need to work a little bit more. And if you are certified and you have a history of being in the field, hopefully this allows you to command a higher salary or charge higher fees for the work that you're doing, because you are a proven commodity. You've identified your strengths. You've identified what is necessary to do the type of work that you say you can do. You have the proof, and hopefully that means you can get a higher salary for that. That's the dream, isn't it? Thumbs up if that's the dream.
Yeah.
If only.
Okay. Lots of hands up. Okay, awesome. So, what is BELS? BELS is the Board of Editors in the Life Science. It was founded in 1991, so it's been around for a decent amount of time. And it was founded in order to evaluate the proficiency of manuscript editors in the life sciences in particular, and toward credentials similar to those in other professions. Because if you're here, you're recognizing that editing, proofreading is a profession. We're supporting people that are making millions of dollars. They're doing amazing things in research. But if they can't do that final little bit to communicate their ability, then they're not getting recognized. And editing is just a small part in the process, but it's like having a new car. If you drive through a bunch of mud, your new car looks dirty, and you want to show your new car off to your friends because it's a new car. It's fancy. You're going, Pat, I did a good thing. I got a new car. But if it's dirty, if it's messy, then they look at the car and they don't see the same kind of shine that you do. Editing, to me, is that final polish. When people ask me what I do for a living, I say I play with words. And they go, oh, really? What kind of, like, explain that a little bit deeper. At least it generates a little bit of conversation. And I go, well, if you're putting words in front of your clients, editor, like your organizations, you want those words to look as nice as possible. Not everybody has the same skill. My special skill is to put a polish on it, to make it look good, to make you look good. So, it's a profession. To meet the need, an objective way sorry, I'm speaking too fast. My brain is moving faster than my mouth for the moment. For an objective way to assess the proficiency of editors, the Board of Editors in the Life Sciences, BELS, has developed a process for testing and evaluating the proficiency of editing in the life sciences. The board administers two levels of exams, one for certification and one for diplomate status. The exams, written by senior life science editors assisted by testing experts, focus on the principles and practices of scientific editing in English. And as already introduced, I'm very happy to see Yatin in here today. Hi, Yatin.
Hi.
The only second level diplomate in India, and very, very, very few in the world. We're hoping that we can encourage a few people to join Yatin by giving outreaches like this and encouraging things. BELS. Who likes taking tests? Raise your hand if you like taking tests. I see a lot of no. Oh, we have one, two, couple. All right. You like taking tests. I have to say, taking this test was one of the most challenging things that I've done recently. Well, I've been certified for a few years now, but at the time, my heart was racing on this because it's a test, certification. They're looking at me very closely. And so going through the process to become a board certified editor, it's the ELS designation. The prereqs for this is, number one is generally you need at least a bachelor's degree. Because if you're editing in the life sciences, a minimum requirement is to have a degree in something typically related to life science that you're working in there. And then you need 2 years of experience as a manuscript editor in the life sciences. And that doesn't mean specifically biology or pharmacology or this. It has to, there's lots of little things on the fringe. There's been a lot of discussion recently about forensics. And as long as it's somewhat related to the concept of life sciences, then that's the minimum requirement to register. All right. If you have any questions, what I would like for you to do is to type them into the chat box. And at the end of the session here, we're going to have an opportunity to go deeper into Q&A and hopefully answer some more of your questions. But when I first read this, the concept that all you need is a bachelor's degree and 2 years of experience to be certified, that seemed pretty shallow. Like it didn't seem very complex right now, right? But at a minimum, though, it's going to give you a basic credential. So if you know the prereqs, what do you need to apply? You need to submit an application form. You need a resume and a little bit more detail about what you can actually do, because you need 3 letters from employers or clients. And these letters are going to say that, yes, you are doing work in this field. You've been editing papers. And they're probably going to want to say you've done a good job maybe at editing these papers, and you want to do a better job by getting certified. For the application, you need photocopies of transcripts and your diploma, a bit of your education history. The transcripts generally from your bachelor's degree. If you have advanced degrees, you can also submit them, but at a minimum level for your core requirement, which is your bachelor's degree. And the application has a $65 US fee. When you see any numbers dealing with money, it's in the presentation today, it's always going to be in US dollars. BELS is based out of the US. Venkat, there any questions currently?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Then let's carry on. Once your application has been accepted, within 2 years, and so you paid $65 to submit your application. Within 2 years of your application, you're going to have to actually take the test. And to do that, there's another form for the exam. There's a fee of $350 US for this exam. And BELS will enter you into the Prometric. Raise your hand if Prometric means anything to you. One, okay, got a couple. Prometric is the online system that BELS uses to deliver the test. Due to COVID, there's no in-person exams being held currently right now. All of the exams are being held once per quarter. And people commonly ask me, how do you prepare for the exam? Daily work as an editor is the best preparation. When I was preparing for the exam, my heart was going crazy, and I'm going, what do they mean? What do they mean? There's a study guide that you can download from BELS. We're going to talk about that in greater detail in a moment. But that's only 13 questions. There's close to 100 questions on the exam, and I'm going, well, what do they mean? Daily work as an editor is the best preparation. And truly, when I got to the exam, I'm going, question one, hey, yeah, I did this, I did this, I do this, I know this, I know this. And if you work with grammar, if you work with papers, if you work with style guides, then that's truly the case. The daily work that you're doing is actually what's being tested. They want to see that you can reach a certain level. Any questions about this?
Yeah, we have two questions. One from Anupam Chaudhary.
Okay.
His question is, can employer letters come from individuals, clients such as scholars, doctors, etc., individual clients?
Yes.
Okay, individuals can give these letters. That's what.
It doesn't have, it's a reference. It's the same way that you would have for a job application. It's not from a company that recognizes you. It's from an individual in that company that recognizes you.
Okay. Lakshmi Dhanachandran has another question. My degrees are in mechanical engineering, but I have been editing papers in material science, especially biomaterials and biomechanics, for more than 5 years now. Do I qualify to apply?
And so because of the concept of bio work that you're doing, I would say yes. Okay? And so there's going to be people that you'll reach out to in more detail. I'm not on the acceptance committee, but in general, if you have bio in terms of what you're editing, that's one of the fringe areas of the life sciences field.
Okay, another question by Jyoti regarding letters of reference. Would letters from students carry any value?
From other students, they usually, as with any other general reference letter, they're looking for something from a higher position that you're working for, not working above. Okay? So some of these will be answered in subsequent slides here. There's more detail coming up.
There are two more questions. Maybe we'll take it up a little later. Yeah.
Okay. Do they have to deal with this information right here, right now?
Yeah, one relates to the experience letter from previous employers. I think the question, if I understand this,
that's going to come up.
You get a letter of experience, from an employer that this person has been working here for so many years. Does that count as an experience? I mean, recommendation letter or whatever? Reference letter?
The reference letter needs to attest to the ability of your editing in the field.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Taking a look at the exam itself, topics covered in the standard exam. The main ones dealing with references, grammar, internal consistency, that the verb tense, the language use, everything is consistent between paragraphs. The mechanics, the sentence organization, because a large part of my career was in Asia. And in the Korean argumentative style, they provide background support before they give the main topic. But if you're writing for an English paper, it's the reverse. And so if you notice things like this, then you start off with the main idea and you support your main idea. You come to a new main idea, you start a new paragraph. And so things like this. Publishing requirements, following the style guide from the journal, the punctuation, the syntax, the tables. Okay? These are the topics that if in your daily practice that you're going through, all of this information up on the screen right here dealing with the main topics of the test shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's editing. Anybody surprised? Raise your hand. Please. And so units of measure. Using SI units, ethics. Like if you notice something that's copy and pasted, you highlight it, because if the author is going to get busted for plagiarism, it's better to come from you than it is from the journal and being blacklisted from the journal. I see another question pop up here. What is it?
Maybe we'll take it up later, or you want me to read them now as and when they come?
No. If it's an urgent one. I commented that there's a study guide, and all of this information is there's some description in the study guide. This is what the study guide looks like. The website, it's free to download. You don't have to be a member to download the study guide, but it covers an overview of the objectives of the test. It goes through the registration and fees, cancellation and rescheduling as needed, the test and the test scoring. As I said, it's roughly about 100 questions, but the test that I took was in the range of about 350 points. And so you might mark one question on the exam, but it can be each question can be worth between 1 and 5 points, depending on how much work is needed to come up with the answer. The topics being tested, and there's, as I said before, there's 13 samples with answers, with detailed answers. There's other preparation tips, exam procedure, talking about Prometric and going through some procedures for that. I'm not going to get into too much of that right now. You can read it, and I'm limited to about 45 minutes here for time, so an hour for time, and there's more. Is there anything specific to the exam, Venkat?
The question is about fees. The registration and exam fees seem quite high.
Yep.
Are there any waivers available?
There's a section on waivers that you can go in and explore a little bit, but if you look at different certifications, if you're with AMWA, if you're with these other organizations, you can very rapidly get up over $1,000 in exam registration fees. It's BELS, to be honest, is one of the more cost-effective ones. And so it might seem high, but if you look at what else is out there for certifications, it's not. I don't know of anything that's actually cheaper for the level of certification that we provide. Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
Okay.
All right. There's the man in the room, Yatin, diplomate. Okay? And so, as an example of what Yatin has done to get his diplomate, it's the next level is not just a simple exam. This is designed for BELS certified editors who've done the basic exam, who've had extensive experience in scientific communication. And what is meant by extensive is actually, if you're in the industry, it's not hard to attain this either. You've been BELS certified for at least 2 years, and you're able to document at least 6 years of editorial experience. Okay? I've been in this field for, my hair is white, so I've been doing this for quite a while, 25 plus years for sure. But to document 6 years, to enter the diplomate program, you need to apply for candidacy. You need a portfolio. And so rather than a simple exam, it's a portfolio of material, along with a statement of circumstances surrounding the editing. And so you have what's been edited, and with track changes, that's sufficient. To create your portfolio, you generally have to get permission from that client to say that somebody else can look at it. Okay, just in terms of ethics. The application fee for this is $100, and that's the application fee, just to for somebody to look at it and say, yes, everything is here. It looks good. Okay. Then, if you're accepted, you will receive a guide with the information about the requirements. You will have 2 years to submit your portfolio along with a $300 evaluation fee. It's going to, the person or the group of people, they're going to receive a little bit of that money to go through their time. And all of these people are going to be diplomates, the people reviewing your portfolio. And so you can imagine right now there's only about 31 in the world, with one of them here in the room. Okay? They're going to score your portfolio and inform you the results. If you are unsuccessful, you have 2 years to update your portfolio and pay another smaller fee. Because again, it's going to take time for people to review again this portfolio and give you a result.
There's a similar question for the
Yes.
basic exam. And how long is the certification valid for? Valid, and how do we need to recertify? Is there a provision there for the basic?
That I'm on, part of my position on the board is dealing with this concept of recertification. As of right now, once you're certified, you're certified. But we're in discussions to talk about a 5-year certification, because many professional organizations do require some level of recertification. And so the exact points on what's necessary for recertification, I can't speak to. That's a board discussion right now. There's a committee that's working on suggestions that are going to be presented to the board. But within probably 2 years, there's going to be some requirements to recertify, but everybody that's recertified is going to be grandfathered in and then given the 5 years. Does that help?
Yeah, but if somebody takes the basic exam and is unsuccessful,
Yes.
I think we didn't see something like that. You know what you see in this screen?
Yeah.
Do we have something like that for the basic?
To go through the, you have, I think, 2 years, and I'm missing the fee on that. It's a lesser fee, but there's going to be some fee to take the test again. If memory recalls, I think it might be $150 to retake the test. It's significant. It's significantly less in any case.
Okay.
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 Benefits. What else do you get if you're a BELS member? A pat on the back. Your employer says, "Good job." I know when I was working with Editage, they were quite happy that I was certified with BELS. Do any of you guys use Perfectit? Give me a thumbs up or raise your hand if you use Perfectit. Two thumbs up if you enjoy it. Me too. I love having Perfectit. If you're a BELS member, you get a 30% discount on Perfectit, your Perfectit license. Stedman's has resources. University of Chicago Press, which includes Chicago Manual of Style and other publications. Anything that Stedman's produces, anything that University of Chicago Press produce, you get 20% discounts. And we are in the process of looking for other opportunities. And one of the things that I'm my interest is, especially with encouraging people from India, is to understand and to learn about what resources from India would make BELS an attractive partner. And so if there's organizations that you can recommend, I would love to be able to take some recommendations to the board in our next meeting and go, hey, this group of people from India said this is useful for you. Okay. Me coming onto the board, the majority of my career, 20 years of my career, has been in Asia. And I don't see a lot of Asian influence in BELS right now, which is sad because, again, India has been a major proponent of BELS internally in India, but there needs to be some engagement. And I've reached out to Yatin about this, and we're starting that process. I want to start some discussions. And so what benefits, like Perfect It, like other pieces, would encourage membership and the maintaining of membership in BELS? As a BELS member, we have webinars. And so one of our recent webinars was from the owner of Perfect It. He came in and gave a demonstration directly to BELS members. That was a private event. There's social events, and there's discounts on conferences. There's a number of things that are growing in the organization. There's an email discussion list that gets fairly active. Tips, tricks, common tools. These are being discussed daily. You can volunteer on a BELS committee. You can influence the direction of where you would like the organization to go. That was one of my interests. And not just on a committee, but they invited me up to the board of directors as a member at large. And of course, you can't be a diplomat if you're not a member. Okay, to take the exam. A couple of quick frequently asked questions. Letter of reference, that was already asked, but it's current or former supervisors, employers, or clients. Because again, a reference letter is from a top-down position. Co-workers, professional colleagues, instructors who have seen and you've demonstrated your ability, they can also be used. But students, I don't think would be an appropriate reference letter. Unless you are teaching them editing and they're quite amazed with you, then maybe. What should the reference letter say? They need to say that you've worked in scientific editing for at least 2 years. That's the minimum. Okay? If you have a 20-year career, then game on. Other questions? BELS only offers... Okay. There we go. BELS only offers tests in English right now. That might change in the future, but it's different. We need more people on the board and more test developers to translate accurately than we have access to at this time. Are all the questions on the test related to narrative text? It's not only taking a look at a block of text and fixing it, tables, figures, publishing practices, ethics. If it's related to your daily life in the field, it's a fair game question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes? And now, bring it on. What more do you want to know? I've gone over the basis of BELS. I'm very happy to be a member of BELS. If you are looking for direct certification information, the website is bels.org. The information is at info@bels.org. If you don't think of the question right here, right now, You can email me at jdmcdonald@varexservices.ca. Then I can either direct you or answer some of your questions. But the chat room is yours, or however you want to ask me questions. Let's do it.
Anupam has a question. Is there a job board for BELS certified editors?
There sure is. We do have a job board on there. I didn't put it up into the member benefits. I had it on my brain, but it didn't get up there. There's a private job board.
Okay, one more question from Lakshmi.
Mm-hmm.
This is regarding career opportunities post-certification. A lot of us work for Autosave companies that offer us regular jobs at a flat fee rate.
Mm-hmm.
As non-native speakers of English ourselves, expanding our client base is a bit of a problem. Will BELS certification help us in getting another set of more exclusive clients? Who are they likely to be?
The primary work, especially in life sciences, originates from research, and so research institutes and organizations. Getting this certification is one checkbox on your resume to make you stand out from other people that are applying for this certification. Being in the rarefied air of a diplomate would make you stand out even more, because all of the exam and all of the assessment is in English. It's not the same as a TESOL certificate or anything like that, which is just a standard. Again, it's another standard. The sources. I'm just trying to think of where you can advertise, but it's on your resume, it's on your website, it's everywhere that you're promoting yourself. It's in your LinkedIn. And so as you are going through the process of looking for more work, this is a credential that will hopefully help you stand out. Does that answer the question? Yes.
Lakshmi, can you tell us, does it
Thank you.
satisfy you?
Yeah, she gave me the thumbs up. So
Okay.
Next.
Does anyone offer exclusive courses for BELS certification?
Nope, because there's not a course. The only we have the program guide in terms of what the test is, the download of what's expected, but I've asked this question on the board a number of times, and from 1991, the whole intent of BELS certification is to be as practical as possible. And that is work that you're doing in the life sciences that shows that you can meet a basic standard. There's nobody offering courses on it right now that I know of. I know when I was in Korea, there might have been study groups that are informal. And I would assume that if you're working for an organization in India, such as Editage, Cactus Communications, or Crimson, there might be employees that are getting together to study together and work together, but there's nothing formal that I know of.
Okay. Question from Vandana. I have a background in English literature, but I've been editing life sciences articles for the last 10 years. Am I eligible for this course?
Absolutely. It's practical experience editing in the life sciences. My initial degree was, I was a high school math, science, and phys ed teacher. Then my master's degree is in applied linguistics. Then I spent 10 years working at a graduate research institute where I ended in Korea, where I realized that nobody was serving the students there. And I ended up establishing brand new curriculum for academic writing, particularly in the life sciences. an editing center, a writing center, and then I became BELS certified. And so everybody has a different path, but the most important criteria is that you're editing in some range of life science that's connected to life science. And so what your initial degree is in isn't so important as the work that you're doing right now.
Okay, one more. I'm not sure whether this is a question or a suggestion. Suggestions for discounts for resources from India. Trinka AI, grammar and language correction AI tool for academic writing. This is probably a new tool in the market, but is apparently tailor-made for scientific manuscripts. Can you expand on that, Jyoti? Would you mind expanding on it? Unmute yourself and...
If it could be presented to me in an email, then it's something that I can take to the board, and I would need some type of connection locally to discuss anything with.
Sure, I will do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell us something about it? What do you mean when you say suggestions for discounts for resources from India?
In one of the slides, he had asked for suggestions from, I think, Indian resources that they could include among the, this one. So I personally haven't used Trinka AI, but I keep running into it nowadays on LinkedIn, and I had initially, had an initial dialogue with them, and it appears that this is an AI tool specifically meant for scientific manuscripts. So
I've done reviews of a few different AI systems, and the one thing that I can comment on Perfectit is that you can install Perfectit on your computer, and it doesn't have to talk to its home base. And so in terms of data security, some of the AI systems are taking and analyzing off of your computer and sending a report back. In terms of ethics, then your client needs to know that you're using this, because if, like, for data security and research, there are some concerns with that. And so I would have to have a deeper assessment of how they use the data, how they're presenting their information, how they're analyzing the writing.
Okay.
Would it mean that anything that takes it back to the source servers would be suspect? Can I take it that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know that if I'm doing work that's not on my computer, or the data is being stored, sometimes even in the cloud, my clients get upset with, is that if it's hackable, if it's like, if you don't know where the data is going, that especially pre-publication, researchers get sensitive about their stuff, right?
Okay, there is a general question,
Yes.
Do you think AI threatens our jobs as copy editors?
No, God, no. If words are going, if homophones exist, any number of things. Perfectit is very nice in what it does in terms of consistency and notifying, but you have the document, you run it through Perfectit, it's not perfect, and I wouldn't publish it yet until a human looks at it and goes through and finalizes. For the rest of my life, I know that AI is not going to beat me going through a paper.
Okay, another question is, can I have my previous experience letter or appreciation letter as reference letters?
The letters need to be current and written for this purpose. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. My degree is in biomedical engineering. I edit chemistry and biochemistry articles mainly. Do I qualify? I think yes.
Biochemistry, it fits the requirement.
Okay, one more question from Lakshmi. Does having a PhD add more value to a BELS certified copy editor's job profile?
Having a PhD and working in the industry shows that you can provide more service than a simple proofread. You can analyze the credentials. You can analyze. You can go deeper into the numbers and the credibility, the newness of the paper than somebody who's working with a bachelor or master's degree in that or in an unrelated field. And so your value in that niche would be much higher than what I have trying to break into that niche. Okay.
Okay.
And so in terms of just being BELS certified, we're both, and I've been maybe longer than you have. Okay. But BELS isn't a degree. It's a certificate, just to give another little checkbox on your CV.
Okay, next one. This is something you already answered, but I think you can clarify it again. When and where is this exam conducted in India? You said it's online.
It's online.
Does it have any maximum number of editors to appear? And these are earlier.
No.
Okay. I think we've
as far as I know, there's not a maximum number of seats. If there is, I haven't heard of that number in any discussions I've had with the board.
I mean, the moment you go online, locations are automatically,
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else? Has anybody else? 1 minute. I'm having. Yeah, please, Jyoti, ask a question verbally. We would be very happy if every one of you can ask questions rather than type.
Oh, Venkat, you're getting tired.
No. Okay, so isn't it the copy editor's job to do the plagiarism check and check whether the table contents in the tables and figures have been interpreted correctly? I mean, I think that's asking for too much. If you're not an expert in the field, how would you know if some matter has been? Are you expected to put it through a plagiarism check software? And
no. Well, it depends what job you're ultimately hired for, but in terms of the certification, on the test, they're going to give some basic math questions dealing with mean, median, and mode. And if you're dealing with a science paper, dealing with papers in the life sciences, and you don't know what mean, median, and mode are, some basic, maybe some standard deviation. Recognizing like B for the curve and stuff like that. Some very basic things like that is going to be the test. But when you're actually in your job, depending on the level of edit that you've been requested to do, you might have access to a plagiarism checker. I don't generally. But when I'm going through a paper and the paper is poor, but there's a perfect section in that paper, I can recognize that something is different. And it's something that I can highlight with my author. I don't have to report it beyond the author or my direct client, but that's as far as I generally take it. Does that help you?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it helps to know that you would be checked on your knowledge about statistics, etc. And the reason I asked is because initially when I used to, well, I don't know if I can call it copy edit or whatever, check my friends' manuscripts. Mm-hmm. And when they were in my field of expertise, mm-hmm. I had a tendency to unknowingly say, oh, this is what you've written. I would interpret it this way, but you have interpreted it some other way. But then mm-hmm. over time, I had to learn to suppress that urge, as in I'm not there to analyze the contents and come up with the discussions. It's just to improve the language. So when you talked about interpreting tables and figures, that's why I was wondering, like, even if I am able to analyze it, it's not my job. I just need to know that what they have discussed with respect to that particular figure is grammatically or correct from the language point of view. So,
Well, if you, as an example, if you see that n, the number n is 35 participants in the study, and you see the groupings of different people that are involved in the study, so male, female, teens, whatever the case may be, and it doesn't add up to 35, you notice that there's a mistake in somewhere, right? Whether in the n number or there's participants missing that there's no accounting for. And so when you're reading, there's going to be like just little things like that. It's not highly technical. In the exam, you'll have access to a basic calculator. You're not calculating the standard deviations. You're not going through chi-squared tests and all of this other stuff. But you need to recognize that if P is greater than 0.001, is it reliable data and all of this type of thing? Just again, what you would be reading in your daily life.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Just one more question. Sorry, Dr. Venkat.
Yeah, go ahead, Jyoti, go ahead.
So, is there, I don't know, maybe you mentioned it in your slide, but is there a set of sample questions anywhere available?
Yes, and
Okay.
that is the whole big section on the study guide.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much.
And it goes through these topics.
Okay. Ramakrishnan has a question. Does the certification apply only to editing, or does it apply to medical writing and other services?
Board of Editors in the Life Sciences. And so if you're a medical writer and you have this certification, many do, it doesn't hurt you, definitely.
And then a question from Amita Biantal. Is there an autosave mechanism while taking the online test?
Is there, sorry?
Autosave mechanism. Okay, the reason is, assuming there is a power cut during the exam, does the time allotted change, or can the test be paused? I mean, there are practical questions that anyone in India will have.
I believe so. If the power cuts out, it's a new test. It's only been run a couple of times here, as far as I know. Actually, no, the first one, I don't know that the second one has even been run yet. But the difficulty, if the power cuts, I think you can move forward from that point. I don't know about returning back to previous questions.
You want me to reread it? No.
No. I'm talking about when you're taking the test. If you're taking the test online and your power cuts, I don't know that you can return to review previous questions, or if it's only the next batch of questions that come up for you.
In fact, this particular question, gives me a feeling that it might be better if you can spend 1 or 2 minutes just explaining the way the test will be conducted online. How it
the procedure for the Prometric is they're very sensitive. You have to be able to show that there's no TV or other things in your room. It's that where they can see your keyboard, and they're monitoring where you're looking with your eyes and things like that. And then it's the questions are going to pop up. You have an opportunity to answer and move to the next. And during the test, you'll you go through, you can review as with the standard test. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what type of information I can provide that's different than that.
I can give you an example offhand. Right now everything is being done from home, and my daughter is having her exams, and there's a hell of a lot of confusion going on, probably because different people are setting it up for different reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can relate to this question very well because students are unclear about what will happen, how things will proceed. Okay, so that's the reason I also felt it might be better to give some. How long is this test actually? Online?
It's 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay. If I understand you correctly, tackling these power cut problems, etc., is basically left to the individual. That way?
Yeah. I don't know exactly all of the detail of the Prometric. I haven't taken the test personally, and I don't have all of the information. That's another committee that's discussing the problems. And so if my information isn't spot on accurate, I apologize for that.
Okay, no problem. But this is something that people in India wanting to take the test will definitely like to have more information on.
If you want to follow up on that, please send me an email, and I can take that to the board and get a better answer and respond back.
Yeah, Vivek, can you jot down that and?
Yes, Dr. Actually, the next question that Padma Priya has posted, I think it's linked to that. She is asking, is there any center in India where we can go and give this test so that this power cut problem doesn't arise? Because the center will have certain backups, and you will have maybe some proctors who will be administering the exam.
I know that's the dream, but I don't know that it's in existence right now.
If I may pitch in.
Yes, Yatin.
Yeah, in fact, Heritage used to do that in Mumbai, and that's how I gave my basic exam. Now that it is online, I don't know whether they still do it, but they used to do that typically in February or January each year. You can check with Heritage.
But just to interrupt, but I'm not an employee of Cactus. But that
No, you don't have to be. You don't have to be.
So I just have to approach Cactus and ask them if they.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for this information.
But Padma Priya, I think for that you will have to travel to Mumbai.
No, I'm based in Mumbai.
Okay, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the when such a thing is happening, I'm sure it's going to be back up on the online calendar for BELS.
I think we've reached the end of the questions.
Okay. Well, it's been great talking to you guys. I very much thank you for the opportunity. I hope that you found some of my information useful. And again, if you have any questions tomorrow that maybe I can answer, shoot me an email and I'll see what I can find.
Yeah, thanks, John. It was a very informative and entertaining and engaging webinar. And I'm sure our members will be in touch if they have any follow-up questions, and they will be like opting to take this exam. And we are all there to help them. And Mr. Yatin Joshi, he can also answer any follow-up questions.
I'm not surprised that it was engaging because he's a Toastmaster.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you guys know Toastmasters as well?
Yeah, we know.
Raise your hand if you know Toastmasters. Okay. When I returned to Canada in 2015, I spent 3 years and got my DTM. And so I like presenting. I like talking to people.
Thanks, John. Like we are happy we had your session in season 2 of our Sunday webinar series, which we started last year. So in first season 1, we had 55 consecutive sessions, and in season 2, yours is the second session today. And next week, we will have a session on corporate editing by Aarti Sharma at 11 a.m. in the morning, or at 4 p.m. We will fix up the time and let you know.
Yes. When you're having these sessions, if there's, please send me the link. I can't promise to attend all of them at funny hours of the day, but if I can, I definitely will.
Yeah, sure. John, we will share the link, and we thank you for taking out time.
Perfect.
And good night to you. A very nice, very nice day to the rest of the participants. Thanks, Yatin. Thanks, Dr. Venkat, for reading out all the questions. So thanks, everyone. Have a nice day. See you next Sunday.
Perfect, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.